Hello, I am Prashant Kothari, President of SkillBench and founder of Internal Audit Today show. I'm excited to host episode 4 of Internal Audit Today, a talk show to benefit the internal audit fraternity and beyond. Every month, I talk with an internal audit or other business leader to learn their experience and perspective about the internal audit profession. Friends, today I am honored to talk to Neal Zygarlicke, Internal Audit Leader at First Supply, a plumbing and HVAC wholesale distributor located in the Midwest. In addition to internal audit, Neal is also responsible for the corporate real estate management function at First Supply. Neal has an undergraduate degree in business management and MBA from Viterbo University in La Crosse, Wisconsin. He has a personal mission to positively influence lives, which he accomplishes by volunteering in the community, member of the alumni board for Viterbo University, and has previously coached high school girls basketball team. Neal, welcome.
Thanks for having me today.
I appreciate your time in advance. Let's jump right into the questions. Neal, you work for a medium-sized company with one person internal audit shop. You also split your time in addition to internal audit to do real estate management work for First Supply. Given your dual roles, how do you maintain your independence for the internal audit role?
That's a great question. You know, we're a family-owned business, so sometimes we are right on that line of what those independent rules are. But the goal is still to stay independent. Right now, I've been in the real estate management function for approximately 6 months, so it's a fluid situation. But to try to keep the independence, the biggest thing is keeping my audit opinion away from any of the real estate function. I'm not making reports that have an internal audit stamp on it. What we're doing is we are having other leadership groups or the board or our staff auditor our staff attorney, looking at the work that I'm doing, which is looking at leases, contracts, negotiations. So any of the things that I manage from that real estate perspective is also going to have other eyes on it.
What did you do differently to help your employer during Safer at Home order?
There was a couple of items that I just had to jump on and work with our leadership group. There's two main questions that really needed to be answered for our facilities. Number one was, how are we going to keep everybody safe, our employees and our customers? So that to answer that first question, we sat down and we came up with cleaning logs on how we're going to keep our facilities clean. We worked through how we're going to have an oversight of it, and basically we came up with a list of a cleaning log that was with the CDC standards. We distributed it, and then it was tasked to me to make sure that it was happening. The second item that I hopped in on was making sure that our people had the proper PPE and the cleaning supplies. So I think we all knew that a number of weeks ago these were near impossible to find. I worked quite a bit with a number of people, and we were able to supply some PPE to our people. So that took a lot of time, but it's something that was way out of an internal audit role, and it kind of was even out of a real estate management function. So that's just one of the ways. A second question that we had to answer was, what would we do if our facility was contaminated? There were so many questions at the time as to how should you respond should an employee or a customer test positive and had been in your facility. So I led that implementation of having some sort of rapid response group that would go to the facility, shut it down, and then allow the cleaners, professional cleaners, to come in and clean the facility and hopefully get it back up and running as quickly as possible.
Neal, I really liked that you are not afraid to roll up your sleeves and help out the management with whatever is needed during the crunch time. I think that's a great learning for me, and I'm sure that will be a great learning for other viewers of this episode. When we spoke a few weeks ago, I know you and your family found a creative way to help the community during Safer at Home. Could you share more details about the work you did in the community?
I have to give a ton of the credit to my wife, because she's the one who found this group and the idea. But what the idea was, it was taking food that was going to be donated throughout the community. So what we did is we took our truck over, we picked up massive amounts of food, and then we would set out a table out in front of our house. Now, this table had piles of food on it for anyone to take. Anything that they needed or wanted, they could take, free of cost, no money involved. And what was really cool was there was about 15 different households within the community that set up these tables all over La Crosse. And what was really amazing is the amount of food that people did need at the time. Our table was completely empty at the end of the day. We had 60 dozen eggs one time, and they were all gone. So it was just something simple to do that we could give back to the community. And it was such a great idea.
That's outstanding. And kudos to your wife too for coming up with this brilliant idea and helping out with this initiative. What advice would you have for other small internal audit functions that perform operational/management roles in addition to internal audit?
I think the biggest thing is just making sure that people are aware. Make sure the executives or leadership and other managers know that you have some sort of dual role or functions, and the board of directors should absolutely know. Beyond that, it's use your internal audit skills to enhance the operations. What types of questions do you normally ask, or types of things do you analyze, and then put that into what you are managing? That type of mindset and of questioning and verifying and analyzing is going to be extremely valuable to a management function on the operation side.
What would you say are the key factors that define your success in the internal audit role?
I think the factors that define the success is just seeing the changes made that you've recommended. That kind of defines whether or not your audit role is being successful or not. But I think one of the biggest reasons as to why I've had success in the internal audit role has really been because of other people. I have been able to have mentors. I had so many people that just sat there and taught me about the operational processes within our company. Those people really didn't know me at all, and I'm sitting there just asking questions and asking why and learning about it. That those people took a great deal of time and took their knowledge and was able to transfer that knowledge to me. Without it, I wouldn't be where I am today in bringing the value to the company.
I like that, Neal. You not only you saw the changes that were made within the company, the results that were implemented within the company, but also I'm thinking that Obviously, you brought good value to the table. I think you're being very humble here, but you brought good value, which is why the management and the family-owned company wanted to make those changes for good.
I think so. I mean, and that's really the goal of internal audit at the end of the day is to recommend changes or recommend items that are going to bring the most value.
My last question for today, Neal. What are your 2 key learnings in the internal audit role for last 8 years at First Supply?
I think that the biggest one for me, and I'm going to hit that one first, is staying relationship and trust-based or oriented. And that's with all levels of people in the organization. By building up that trust, the internal audit function here has just been able to tackle so many different issues. Some of the largest audit findings or issues that we've had haven't necessarily come from running some sort of analyzation or doing even a traditional audit. A lot of the findings that we've had have been because people have trusted me and have reached out and they've said, hey, Neal, this doesn't look right. Something is odd here. Can you look at it? And after looking at it, then we did find issues. But I may have not ever found those or known about those for months down the line. So having that trust with people, getting out and just visiting with them beyond an internal audit role really helps in people being open and honest and bringing things to the table that eventually could be major issues.
I have these 2 big takeaways here. One that you mentioned is earlier, as I indicated, rolling up your sleeves and really doing things outside the role to help out the company. What is needed in the moment? What is needed during the crisis situation? Just helping out management and not limiting yourself to your defined role. That's outstanding. And the other big takeaway here is the trust, gaining the trust of your coworkers. That's big. It takes a long time to earn trust, to gain trust. And it also takes collaboration, with others that, hey, you really want to help out, which is why people would trust you and tell you about those things rather than thinking of you as like somebody who would be nitpicking on something or calling them out. So it says a lot about how you run the function and how you collaborate with others in the company.
Absolutely. And I think no matter what role you're in, internal audit and beyond, staying that relationship and that trust-based it should be the foundation. I truly believe that that's how every role should be worked upon and built on and improved. It's all about that relationship and based on that trust. It allows so much more collaboration in the future and really being able to tackle and go after the company goals, any accountability issues you might have. It truly is the foundation.
Thank you so much, Neal, for sharing your words of wisdom today.
Thank you for having me. I absolutely enjoyed it.
Friends, if there is a topic or guest you would like to see on Internal Audit Today, leave a comment here or email me at pk@globalskillbench.com. Thank you.